Welcome. I'm Aunt Cindy.
I'm Memaw Dixie.
And I'm Granny.
It's Memaw Dixie here, and as you can tell, I have pink on. For everybody that doesn't know, which I'm sure that's not very many, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which every day for me is Breast Cancer Awareness because I am a breast cancer survivor. Back in May of 2011, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive breast cancer. To make a long story short and to tell my story, I was working, I had a very good job. I was working very long hours. And one day I got up and I decided I didn't want to play that day. I didn't want to go to work. But I didn't want to lie about it either, so I called my doctor and set up a mammogram, which I hadn't had a mammogram maybe in 3 or 4 years. So he set it up and I went, and I came back with an abnormal mammogram. They sent me a letter and called me, and I kind of just brushed it off, and actually I threw the paper away. Well, a couple of weeks later, I had gotten sick and got bronchitis, so I went to the doctor to get antibiotics. And the hospital had sent my doctor my abnormal mammogram. So he asked me about it, and he said, "What'd you do about it?" And I said, "Well, I actually just threw it away. I didn't think much about it. I'd had them before, and they came back abnormal, so I just didn't pay any attention to it." But looking back now, I realize I had the signs of breast cancer. Even though I had checked myself, I could not feel anything. But I was so extremely tired. But I was really thinking maybe that was the long hours I was putting in. And so he said, "Well, we need to go and have another one, and we will do a ultrasound with it." So I went back, and I had another mammogram, and they set me in a room, and then ended up sending me to have an ultrasound. Well, during the ultrasound, I could see it just as clear as the little lady doing it. I had a mass in my breast, and it was way back against my chest wall in the back. So there's no way I would have ever found my cancer just by doing self-exams or anything like that. I would have never felt the knot until it was like very too late to do anything about it. So they set me up to have biopsies, which was a 6.5 hour biopsy. I sat and watched every bit of it. It's pretty neat to watch. It's not pretty neat to go through, but it was pretty neat to watch. But anyway, come to find out, I was diagnosed on the 26th of breast cancer. I didn't tell my family I was going through this at the time. I didn't even tell my husband until it did show up that I was going to have a biopsy. And my best friend, I called her, and she went through it. She had been through breast cancer twice already, so she knew all the ins and outs and everything about it. And I was just like a duck in water. I didn't know anything about it. So she went with me and made sure that they got me in with the best doctors, that they got me in and didn't try to pull one over me being new at it. I would have probably let them done anything, but she was right there with me the whole way and done all the talking and all the questions because I didn't know what to do. I mean, I've never been through this, but she had. So my advice to you, if you get breast cancer, you need a support group. And I want you to understand that I am here. If you are just diagnosed or if you're going through breast cancer and you need somebody to talk to, you need somebody to cry to, you need somebody to laugh with, send me a message on YouTube, Facebook, call me, and I will be right there with you. I will laugh with you. I will cry with you. I will just be here to be a support group. Everybody needs a support group, and I was very blessed to have one. Not only did I have a best friend that was my support and cheerleader, my husband, you know, sad to say, I have worked with a lot of women that went through breast cancer, and the first thing happened when they were diagnosed, their husbands would leave them. And I was in the back of my mind, you know, what if my husband leaves me because I'm not whole anymore, or I'm going to be sick, I'm not going to be his helpmate anymore. But my husband was 100%. God has truly blessed me with a wonderful, wonderful husband. And he was with me every step of the way, long hours, not sleeping, staying up all night with me, carrying me to give me a bath on the days I was too weak to walk. I did have to go through some very aggressive chemo. I went through that for 6 months. I lost all my hair in 2 days after treatments. So I was bald for almost 2 years. I never wore wigs. I always wore hats. I have totes of hats here now. I've actually got a good friend that's going through breast cancer now, and she's using my hats. I've donated my hats to several women that has gone through breast cancer. When they finish, they just bring them back. I hope I never have to use them again, but I just keep them just in case somebody does need them. All they have to do is call me, and you're welcome to use them. I honestly don't think I could have ever went through the cancer that I went through had it not been for my faith in the Lord. I knew God was going to get me through this. I knew He had big plans for me. I knew He did not cause this. You're going to hear a lot of stuff. Well, God give you this to make you grow, or God did this to make somebody. God doesn't do breast cancer. He's a good God. He's a good Father, and He doesn't give you anything that will hurt you or destroy you. Satan does that, but God's bigger than him. And so when you do go through it, God will walk with you every step of the way, and He will get you through it. And that my faith was a big, big factor in this. And also I had 2 little sidekicks, Andrew and Will. At the time Andrew was 3 and Will was 2. They're 4 months apart. But by the time I started treatments, they both was 3 years old. And they were my cheerleaders. They were my helpers. And I honestly believe that had it not been for my 2 little towheads, I'm not sure that I could have went through my breast cancer as well as I did. When my hair came out, I was kind of scared to tell them, you know, Memaw's hair's coming out. Well, I had no choice. I got up one morning and my hair was on my pillow. It was coming out by big handsful. So I called for him to come in. And little Andrew has the biggest heart of any grandkid that I have. He is a truly amazing little boy. And he said, but Memaw, God doesn't want your hair to come out. And I said, I understand, I know, Andrew, but God's going to make me beautiful hair. So we got to figure out what we got to do with all this mess and all this hair in a bathtub. So for 3 days, me and Andrew and Will made bird nests. We made a game out of it. Now, I'm not here to tell you that breast cancer is all fine, flashy, and fun, because it's not. It's devastating. It's dark. It's ugly. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days when you feel like you can conquer the world, especially when they get you on steroids. But then you're going to have days that you can't even get out of the bed. And once all the treatments was over and everything, which it took me 2 years. I had 7 surgeries, so it took me 2 years to get over just the medical issues on the major surgeries. And I am cancer-free now. It was 9 years in May. I had my surgery on July the 11th. Started my chemo on August the 1st. I finished up 6 months later. I have really bad side effects from it. I'm really weak on my left side. I have a severe chemo brain is what they call it, but you're real foggy. You'll be talking and then just go totally blank. I have real bad short-term memory. But with that being said, I feel like God has truly blessed me with getting to spend time with my grandkids. I get to watch them play ball. I get to babysit them. I get to be their taxi. And even now, I have tired days I get up, I don't have the energy. I mean, even though it's been that long, you never, ever get over the fact that you had the breast cancer, but the fact of the side effects will always be with you. But you can look at the good days and look at the positive days. I encourage you, if you do have breast cancer or you've been diagnosed, to drink lots and lots of water. Water, God gave us water for healing, and water will help push that toxic poison. Your body's not meant to be on drugs. You see all these drug heads and stuff out here. Your body is not meant to do that. But that water will push that chemo through your system, and it won't lay in your kidneys like a cesspool, and then you end up with a lot of problems. You dehydrate. You can't bounce back like you could. So if you'll drink lots of water, that will help you get through it. Another tidbit of information I can give you is you're number one for right now in your family. You have to do what is best for you. If you don't feel like doing anything that day, don't do anything. Go to bed, rest if you need to rest. If you don't feel like cooking that day, don't cook that day. Your main goal is to get better and survive it. So I can sit here and tell you, though it's been a long, hard, rough road, I have been blessed. I am a survivor. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So don't forget to schedule your mammograms, women.
Not been for a mammogram, I wouldn't be here today because I would have never found my breast cancer if it not have been for a mammogram.
Would you like to really know what mammograms are? They take your boobie, they put it in plexiglass, and they smash it like a pancake. And then they take it sideways and smash it like a pancake. But it don't hurt too bad.
It doesn't hurt.